Welcome to Omnath, Locus of the Roil. As far as our opening hand goes, yes, we're going to keep on this one. I like it. We've got Worldly Tutor, Lightning Greaves. We've got a way to kind of make a quick copy of Omnath with Phantasmal Image, but I think on this one is we might end up going for the a little bit of a mana dork. We want to get a little bit ahead on mana as quickly as possible. So we'll see what we're going to grab with this Worldly Tutor, but there's probably something we're going to grab pretty quick. So let's see if our opponent wants to mulligan past 7 or not, and then we'll get this game started. All right, so let's go ahead and lead off with Wooded Foothills. Yeah, that's going to be good because we'll see if we want to end up going for Worldly Tutor or not. So anything else, let's go and pass it over to our opponent. So we're playing Omnath, Locus of the Roil. And if you've been a fan of the channel or friend of the channel for a long time now, you may have seen Omnath Road Rage before, and that's Omnath with, let's go and crack Wooded Foothills. But that's Omnath with Moshpitch Troll. They would commute together on the way to their command to their job at the command tower. And one of the things that Omnath would get really mad about is that Moshpitch Troll would always play a bunch of metal and he'd leave junk wrappers in the car. So anyway, Omnath would always be really mad. That's why he developed some really bad road rage. Actually, so we've got a couple different things, and I'll kind of explain the dynamic of Omnath's anger management. So we've got Young Pyromancer we can go for. That actually work out really well with Lightning Greaves. It's going to be a lot of tokens to set up a really nice Omnath, and I think we might end up going for that. We could go for Oracle. If we end up going for Spring Bloom Druid, sack a land, search for 2 basics, that's going to get us to really quick Omnath. I think at this point, because if we just get a bunch of elementals with Young Pyromancer, I really like being able to get it to ramp as quickly as possible. So let's go for Spring Bloom Druid. Yeah, let's do this. Put that on top. That's going to allow us to get a few more lands. Because one of the good things that you want to do with this deck is you can get to that 8 land count really quick to start cashing in some card draw. But yeah, long story short, Omnath and Moshpitch Troll, they would commute together to their job at the command tower. And he developed a really bad case of road rage. And that road rage kind of led to some anger management issues in his life, Omnath. And so he wanted to make some better changes. And so he went to anger management. One of the things that they did suggest is that he walk in creeks to help kind of control his anger management. So that's how he became Teamer Omnath instead of Red-Green Omnath. So there's a little bit of backstory for you. If you didn't, hey, you can surprise your friends at your next Friday Night Magic. They're going to be like, wow, that's really cool. I'm glad you told us. Let's go to crack Windswept Heath. Yeah, I think at this point we're going to crack Windswept Heath, and we'll go for Preordain once we get this. We'll get the scrying out of the way, the scurry, the fever. We definitely need to grab a red source. So let's go ahead and grab Stomping Ground. Have that come into play taps. Not going to pay 2 life. Let's go for Preordain. Get the scry going, and then Parallel Lives is definitely something we want to see, and that's going to be 4. Yeah, I think I kind of like that. So now, we will have to shuffle it away, but we're going to have Spring Bloom Druid. Yeah, let's do that. So we'll put Mountain on top. Actually, we're just going to put Mountain on the bottom and put Parallel Lives on top. Draw them to that Parallel Lives, and that'll set us up good to go. But yes, long story short, Walking in Creeks will help you control your anger management. So here we are. This is anger management by Walking in Creeks with Omnath. So whenever Omnath enters the battlefield, it deals damage to any target equal to the number of elementals that you control. Then, whenever a lane enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1 counter on target elemental that you control. If you control 8 or more lands, draw a card. So let's go and lead off with this force. Ooh, it's going to be a Cultivate. Now, we can go, yeah, I think with our opponent being tapped out, I kind of like going Spring Bloom Druid. So we can go Druid. That's going to allow us to sack the forest. And then that's going to bring 2 more. Yeah, we're going to sack forest. We're going to grab a couple more basics. Let's go mountain. Let's split this one down the middle. Go island and, oh, look at that. That's beautiful. And then anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. And I'll kind of, this is not necessarily a crazy different build of Omnath, but I'll kind of explain what we're doing with this deck. But yeah, then 8 lands, draw a card. So playing gets Meren. Whenever another creature you control dies, you get an experience counter. Then at the beginning of your end step, choose target creature card in your graveyard. If that card's converted mana cost is less than or equal to the number of experience counters you have, return it to the battlefield. Otherwise, put it into your hand. Our opponent's going to keep up with that ramping with Spring Bloom Druid and getting down this of Vastwood Seer. So I think, ooh, Flooded Strand. So we go Flooded Strand. I think we can do this all in one turn. Oh, that is a ton of lands, and I love this very much. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. So we go Flooded Strand, and then we crack Flooded Strand. Yeah, we're going to grab a dual source. We're going to start sacking some of these basic lands. That way we can be in a pretty good. I think we'll just go and grab a Volcanic Island. That'll be a good option for us. So we go for Cultivate. We're able to search for up to 2 basics, put those onto the battlefield. I think we'll definitely grab a forest because we're hurting on those, and probably just grab double forest. I think that'll be pretty good. Forest on the battlefield, forest into our hand. Let's go for Phantasmal Image on Spring Bloom Druid. Have it into the battlefield as a copy of Spring Bloom. Oh yeah. I think we'll sacrifice this island, and then we're gonna go mountain, and then we're gonna grab ourselves another forest. Actually, probably wouldn't hurt to have at least just one more island and then one more forest. That'll be pretty good. All right, have both of those into the battlefield. Look at that. Look at all these lands on the battlefield. Then we're going to go and pass the turn over to our opponent. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to be looking at getting down Omnath and cashing a card draw. And this is exactly what this deck wants to do. So we did cover both commanders. To give a quick shout out to our sponsors, MTGOTraders. If you want to control your very own anger, be sure to head over to MTGOTraders. They have a ton of creeks set up. They even have Omnath set up to help guide you through the creeks. And so if you want to have a few extra elementals to go along with you on the walk, Omnath will certainly make that happen. And also shout out to inkgaming.com. Let's say that you're in the market for a custom playmat or t-shirt or a dice bag. Be sure to head over to inkgaming.com. Use coupon code JOLT to get 10% off your order, or type in JOLT539. You can see some of my cool playmat designs in the search feature. And last but not least, I started a Patreon. So it is down in the description below if you want to sign up for that. Now it's officially free time. We can have some fun. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think at this point we go Lightning Greaves, and let's just do some setting up. I think that'll be good for us. So it's going to be 1, 2. That's going to be Lightning Greaves, and then we can still end up going for Parallel Lives and going for Mystical Tutor, which is going to be a really good option for us. So there we go. Now with Omnath, typically you want to get it down, but the way we're playing this deck is we really want to set up some really good value. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And what we might end up doing is simply just casting Omnath and then going for Mystical Tutor for something like Skyshroud Claim. I think that would be good. Or we can even go for something like Hour of Promise, which would definitely allow us to get a few extra lands down. Now, that does put us to where we need to be at 9 mana, so we'll kind of see exactly what we want to go for with Mystical Tutor. But we're going to let our opponent swing in on this one. That's going to be 5 coming across, put us down to 18. But yeah, as far as this actual build, this is a very kind of, not necessarily janky build, but it's a very heavy token build of Omnath. We want to deal a lot of damage as quickly as possible with Omnath. So we have Panharmonicon to double those enter the battlefield triggers of dealing damage. We have Parallel Lives to make a ton of elemental tokens, because we actually don't have a lot of elemental creatures in here outside of Omnath. There's very few in here. And I think I want to hold on to Mystical Tutor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, let's go for Omnath. You know, if our opponent's got some sort of answer for Omnath, so be it. But at this point, we're at least going to be able to get down Omnath and make the land drop and cash in a card draw. So if they do have some sort of spot removal, it's not the end of the world. And then we'll go for the forest. That'll be a land drop, because if we end up going for Lightning Greaves on Omnath, they Beast Within on... Oh, that's a bummer. Yeah, that's a good play. That's a good play. Good job by our opponent. All right, it's going to take care of that. We do end up with a 3/3 Beast token, which actually does kind of help us out in a deck like this. And we've got card draw online, so we're going to be able to stop that. So we'll have Omnath enter the battlefield. Let's go ahead and get the forest down. Oh, excuse me. Let's go ahead and have this damage be dealt out to... That's going to be 1 elemental. I think what we're going to do is, just so they don't get the experience counters, we're going to send that 1 damage up top to our opponent and hope that they don't have removal. I forgot about the enter the battlefield trigger, so there we go. We can get down forest. That's going to allow us to, let's go and put the +1 counters, and then we cash in a card draw, which is going to be really good. So let's go for this Lightning Greaves and see if this is going to stick. Oh yeah, and then Grow from Ashes kick too is going to be a wonderful way for us to get some good card draw too. So let's go for Grow from Ashes. That's going to be 2 basic lands we get to put on the battlefield. I think, in fact, it's the last 2 in the deck. And that's going to be 2 more card draw. Oh, and excuse me, but that's going for Lightning Greaves. I forgot that was an actual trigger. Then we have to actually draw the card, so we can't target on that to get that trigger because it can't target anything. Okay, that was a little bit of a misplay on my part. Sorry about that. Let's just go ahead and pass the turn to our opponent. Yeah, I never even realized that. I thought it was a completely separate trigger, but that is all 1 trigger. Yeah, the way that works is we didn't get that card draw. I thought we were going to get 2 card draw from Grow from Ashes, but what ended up happening is, since Omnath's trigger has to target some elemental, let's go and look at it real quick. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1 counter on target elemental you control. Then if you control 8 or more lands, draw a card. So that trigger has to resolve for us to get that card draw. So a little bit of a misplay on my part. But to be honest, this is a brand new commander, and little things like that. Typically, that's how I learned that that interaction is correct in that. You know, when you read that if you have 8 or more lands, draw a card, you think like, oh, okay, yeah, that's going to work like that. But unfortunately, with Omnath Locus of the Royal, it has to target. So what we're going to do, maybe during our upkeep, we might end up going Mystical Tutor. I think at this point, if we end up Mystical Tutor for anything, we'll probably just end up going for a Pull from Tomorrow. That's going to be a lot of card draw. So let's say we go for Mystical Tutor. That's going to be during our upkeep. That's going to be 2 from Pull for Tomorrow. We're still going to end up with a very healthy amount of card draw if we end up doing Pull from Tomorrow, and we'll be able to cash in a few extra things. So I think that's exactly what we want to do. And our opponent's completely tapped out, so they'll kind of make sure that the coast is clear. So let's go and jam that. Let's go Mystical Tutor during our upkeep, and we'll be able to shift this Lightning Greaves around. Yeah, sorry about that. I always hate little misplays like that. It's not fun for me. It's not fun for you, for the viewer, but like I mentioned, this is a brand new commander, and Magic is about learning from your mistakes. So I will certainly remember that trigger is a targeted ability. So let's go and shift this Lightning Greaves over onto our Beast token, and then once we go from this Pull from Tomorrow, we can really kind of start to cash in some card draw and set up some really nice elementals. So let's go Pull from Tomorrow. And we're doing this during our main phase simply because we just want to start cashing in as much card draw as possible. It's going to be 8 cards we get to draw into once we make the land draw. Oh, look at that. Look at that. We have to discard a land card. I think we'll just simply just get rid of... I think we'll get rid of Harbor because we got Life from the Loam. That's a beautiful rip off of it. It's like we just Panharmonicon in Conjurer's Closet. That is awesome. All right, so we're going to get rid of Harbor. Yeah, that'll be good. So that's going to enter. And I think... yeah, that's going to start to give us some zombies. Yeah, that's going to be correct. So let's go and put the triggers onto Elemental, onto Omnath. That's going to give us a 2/2 zombie, and I'm curious to see what zombie tokens these are. And we've got some really good setup with Proforos as these. Oh, look at that. All right, so we're going to get a few extra triggers onto Omnath. Elemental Mastery is absolutely beautiful. And at this point right now, I think what we're going to do is we're simply just going to shift Lightning Greaves back over onto Omnath to keep it protected. And then we're going to go and pass the turn over to our opponent. And we could swing in, but since we do have 2 cluttered board states, we can actually close the game out just a little bit quicker. So we drew into a beautiful, beautiful 7 cards, or 8 cards off that Pull from Tomorrow. So we've got Conjurer's Closet and Panharmonicon. That allows us to get some really nice damage going. Now that does kind of conflict with Elemental Mastery, but one of the cool things about Elemental Mastery is we get this onto Omnath, and that's going to allow us to end up with a ton of elementals on the battlefield. You know, that's going to be a 5/5. That's going to be 5 elementals. Then we have Proforos. That's going to be 10 damage with Proforos. There's just a lot of value you can do with the stack. Then let's say that we end up bouncing Omnath. That's going to allow us to... oh, they went for Thrashing Bronodon. All right, so if they do end up having a way to deal with Omnath, that's perfectly fine. But if they don't, we can still go Conjurer's Closet and Panharmonicon next turn, because that's going to be... all right, so we're going to go ahead and always yield to that trigger and let them do that thing, because I'd hate to miss something while they're going through a bunch of Meren stuff. And thankfully, they're only 1 experience counter. You know, we're at turn 7, so, and they're just now getting down to 2. But once we end up going, that's going to be 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we do have 12 total mana. So that does leave us at land drop, so we can actually go for Elemental Mastery. But I think what we want to do is if we end up going Conjurer's Closet, Panharmonicon, Proforos, that'll set up some really good damage. I think what we need to do, Victimize, K. You're going to bring both of those back. Now, with them having Thrashing Bronodon, I think basically keep bringing it back. We almost need to kind of set up a turn to where I think what we need to do is we need to go for Proforos first. Because with Proforos, we simply just start making the land drop. We get zombies down. That's going to be a lot of triggers. And I think that's going to be really good for us. So let's see what we draw into. They're going to be able to bring back Viscera Seer. Yeah, because we need to start dealing some damage to our opponent. That's exactly what we need to start doing. So let's go Proforos first. We're going to Proforos enter the battlefield. And then we go Panharmonicon. And I think, yeah, I think this is right. So we end up going Misty. That's going to be Crack. That's going to be a few extra zombies. And I think we still try to jam a Elemental Mastery. So we go Misty Rainforest, that's going to be 2 zombies, that's going to be Proforos. Yeah, let's do this. So let's go Misty, and that's going to be Zombie Trigger. We're going to get some elementals onto Omnath, some tokens onto, not tokens, some +1 counters onto Omnath. That's going to be an extra zombie token. All right, so we're going to go for that. So let's go ahead and crack Misty in response to that. We're going to go and grab Taiga. That's going to be another Field of Dead trigger. we'll get the Omnath trigger on the stack. That's going to be an extra +1 counter onto Omnath. That's going to make it a 6/6. That's going to be 2 damage up top to our opponent. So they will end up taking care of Panharmonicon, but we did get a little bit of extra damage off of that. So this can be another token, another counter onto Omnath. That's going to be another zombie. It's going to put them down to 21. And I think, so we were sitting at a 7/7. That's going to be 7 elementals on the battlefield, 7 times 2, that's going to be 14. And we've already made the land drop for the turn. Yeah, let's do this. So let's go for Elemental Mastery on Omnath. So let's go ahead and make put X tokens on the battlefield. Now you can see if we had Panharmonicon down, how nutty that would have been. All right, so we're going to get these triggered. Oh, look at that. That is beautiful. It's going to put them all the way down to 9. These might as well just go and swing in with the tokens too, and the entire crew. All of these creatures are going to attack our opponent. They got 3 blockers, so I think we're going to be able to get it on this one if we swing in with combat damage. We've got 7 elementals coming across. We've got 5 in that because they block boom, boom, boom. All right, opponent's going to scoop it up on this one. So you can see where we close it out with Elemental Mastery. Sorry if I didn't see that win right there. When you're playing a new deck, especially when they have a lot of weird interactions like Elemental Mastery, Proferos, you've got Panharmonicon, it's a little bit hard to get your brain to kind of subconsciously see those lines of play, but I knew we had a really explosive hand, especially with all the amount of ramping that we did. So you can definitely see where you don't have to go super heavy Omnath Elemental to end up with a good Omnath deck. You can just simply go for some tokens, cash in some good enter the battlefield damage with Proferos, get some good zombies on the battlefield. It's always nice to have zombies in Teamer, and especially in a land heavy deck, having this Field of the Dead enter the battlefield. Imagine if we had Scape Shift. That does put us in a spot where we probably don't have enough lands for Scape Shift, but you can imagine if we Scape Shifted a bunch of lands and ended up with a bunch of zombies with that Proferos. Either way, this is a beautiful showing of Omnath, and hopefully Moshbridge Troll is sitting at home and really enjoying this show. But anyways, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.